If you've had a guitar that won't play in tune, you know it makes you wanna... But here's the thing. As frustrating as this problem is, it's not usually very simple. It's usually several different adjustments that correct an intonation issue. So in this video, we're gonna get into all the different adjustments that you may need to make to adjust your intonation and get it playing in tune again. If you've ever wanted to learn to set up a guitar like a pro, I've created an online course so that you can learn just that. It only takes about 25 minutes to go through this course. No more scrolling through forums, no more researching on YouTube. Everything that you need is right here in this course. Click the link below to get in this course right now. So the first step of getting your guitar set up is to adjust the truss rod. So I've already removed the cover, and now I'm going to check by fretting the first fret and fretting between the 14th and 15th fret, and then checking at the 7th fret. So there's a little bit of a gap here, but I think it's a little bit too much, so I'm going to tighten up the truss rod just a little bit to remove that. Move these strings out of the way so I can use my truss rod wrench. I might go 1/8 of a turn. Doesn't need much, it's pretty close to where I would put it. And yes, this is a drop D a D standard tuning. Okay, that's where I'd put it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, there's just a little bit of a gap. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to adjust the bridge height. You want to do this before you set the intonation or the nut height because it affects those two adjustments as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower it till we get a buzz, and then we're going to raise it until the buzzing goes away. So with this style bridge, it's just these two posts that you lower. That's the only option we have. We can lower it. I'll go about 1/2 a turn because it's pretty low already. Okay, so we were at 60 thousandths at the 12th fret. Now we're at 50 and 50 on both sides. Now you can hear it, we're getting buzz all throughout the neck. We're getting on the bass side and on the treble side. So now we know we need to lift it up until the buzzing goes away, and that way we know we have the lowest action possible. That's how I like my guitar set up, and that's how most people like it as well. So I'm going to go about 1/4 turn at a time. Make sure it stays in tune while you do this. An important thing to check is when you bend strings to make sure that the notes are sustaining. Sometimes you get the action too low that when you bend the notes, it frets out. Like that, it's doing it a little bit. You can hear how the note kind of dies off, so I'm going to keep picking that up. So a little bit too low, another 1/4 turn. Almost gone. And a little bit of buzzing is okay, unless the player just doesn't like any buzz at all. Most people prefer it that as long as it doesn't come through the amp, that's okay. But this was it was enough that it was affecting the sustain, and that's not good. So you want the performance to be at its peak, even with having low action. Okay, now the action is set, and now we're gonna check the nut height. So we're gonna check the nut height by using a feeler gauge. So I have a 18 thousandths feeler gauge, and you just slip that under the string, in between the first fret and the string, and then you pluck it to see if it buzzes, like so. If it buzzes, you know it's low enough, and then you can check the next string. But if it's not buzzing, like this, you need to file and lower that slot until it starts buzzing. Okay, and they're all buzzing, so we know we don't need to adjust these. All right, now we're gonna set the intonation. So there are saddle pieces you can adjust here to correct the intonation, and also you can move the entire saddle piece with these little set screws here on the end. So you can move the whole tailpiece back or forward, depending on what you need. So, first we're gonna just make sure we're tuned up to pitch. Got my good old strobe tuner here. Okay, so now we're gonna check the open note, make sure that's in tune. Fret the note, slightly sharp on that one. That one's good. And slightly sharp. And that one's sharp. Slightly sharp on the second string. Slightly sharp on the first string. Okay, so the problem that I see right here, right away, is that the saddles for the second and third string are all the way back, but they're sharp. So there's no more room for adjustment. We're gonna adjust this tailpiece and move it away, and that'll bring our intonation into adjustment. Tighten these set screws here. You just see the bridge slowly move back. You can do it on both sides because you can see this one's just about as far back as possible too, so we should move that one too. Now, I should mention, since we moved the entire saddle piece by moving these two set screws, even those two saddles that were correct and they were playing in tune, that's all out the window now. We moved the whole thing, now we need to adjust every single one of these. And now it's time to adjust the pickup height. So what we want to do is have our bridge pickup about 1/8 of an inch from the underside of the strings. So we're right there. Now we want to have both of our volumes up. And what we do is we match the neck pickup volume to the bridge pickup volume. We want them to be the same. So there's the neck, there's the bridge. Like I said, make sure you have both volumes up. Okay, bridge, neck. So the neck's a little bit louder, so we're gonna drop that one down. Probably go about 2 turns because it's a good bit louder. Make sure it's level when you do that. Still a little louder. We'll go another turn or so. We're almost there. Most guitars that you see, you'll notice that the neck pickup is significantly lower. And that's because the string oscillates more in the center than when it's closer to the bridge or to the nut. So it's going to be louder here because the wavelength is bigger. So you need to move the pickup away to counteract the bigger wavelength here in the middle. Just a little bit more and then we got it. Maybe we went a little bit too far, so I'm going to pick that back up a little bit. Okay. Okay, now that we have the pickup volumes matching, we are ready to go.